debut for the Los Angeles Lakers. He came off the bench, which is understandable. The Lakers, based on reports, do plan on starting him at some point, but it's the first game in. You want to kind of wean him in. You want him to learn the system. I mean, this guy basically just got off a plane and now is jumping right into the Lakers lineup. And you did see some of that in this game, right? You saw moments where it kind of looked like he didn't really know where he was supposed to be. What is he supposed to do? So he's like, I'm kind of just going to go stand over here. In some cases, he was kind of just like out of plays entirely. But again, that's to be expected. It's his first game in. He doesn't know the playbook. He doesn't have the chemistry. He hasn't built the role in and all that stuff. But what we did see is an incredible type of player that is going to be huge for us, given the circumstances that I just mentioned. He played 22 minutes, had 12 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 33% from 3, 1 of 3, so he only took 3 threes. He had 6 rebounds and was the highest plus at plus 17 as far as plus minus goes. And he's a guy that just showed flashes of everything you could ask for from what we were hoping to get, right? A guy that has true size, that is physical, that can get to his spots, that can just clean. Like, that mid-range is just so smooth, so crisp. I mean, seriously, he's going to be very effective for the Lakers and for this team. And I really hope that the Lakers, as he gets comfortable and adjusted, and as he starts to find his place and his role with this Lakers team, I really hope that they make and call plays for him. I kind of wish that they would have given him a couple more opportunities to shine. There were a couple moments where, like LeBron James tried to kind of force it to him and it didn't work out. Russ tried to force it to him a couple times. It didn't really work out. Again, that will get corrected as we progress. But Rui, absolutely, in the moments that he had, we got to see him, get the ball out on the perimeter, get the pump fake, take a step or two in, boom, splash the mid-range. I think he's going to be very effective. He was able to show like he could step into threes. He shoots like 41% and catch and shoot threes, which is huge. That's going to be great for him. But just the size, right? The ability to just go up, get the rebound, affect shots. We saw that happen on several occasions. There were a few moments where he kind of got lost and turned around defensively. But again, that can adjust, that can change. I really do think Darvin Ham's going to be able to get him to just buy in defensively and really kind of become a fixture on both sides of the basketball. We've seen Darvin Ham be able to turn guys like Lonnie Walker has been, pretty good defensively for us. And he was nowhere near what he was defensively this year. Russell Westbrook, right? He's having one of the best defensive seasons he's had, and has just been up there as far as guards go. He's playing great defense. Guys in general, right? You see a lot of like just really solid defenders. Problem is we got a lot of guys that are just small, having to defend bigger guys and having to defend out on the perimeter and all that stuff. Well, Rui is, 6'8", 230 pounds, just solid. He's a physical specimen that has the athleticism and all the intangibles to be very good defensively. And I do think that they can mold him defensively. The ability to play both forward spots, I think, is really huge. He's young and only going to improve and just get better. I mean, the guy coming into the league was compared to Kawhi Leonard. Like, that was his pro comparison. And you see that. I'm not saying that he's going to become Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard obviously is a much better defender, and just does things that, Rui just can't do. But that doesn't mean that he can't become some form of that, right? Can he become even half of what Kawhi Leonard is? I mean, that's still a very good player. He's a guy that mid-range is going to be very helpful, especially come playoff time, where a mid-range attack is really much more effective, and the type of plays and sets that you can run with him and his ability to consistently knock down that mid-range. Also, there's just more plays and just things that you can run operating within the perimeter, in the interior for that mid-range game than you can from like the 3-point line and stuff like that. It's just really kind of just, you can do very just great things with his effective shot. And look at most of the better elite teams, right? You got like the Celtics operate a lot in the mid-range. Yes, of course they can knock down the three, but you see a lot, especially Tatum, really good in the mid-range. The Phoenix Suns, when they were healthy and they were having their runs, operate in the mid-range. The Warriors can operate in the mid-range, right? You have the Clippers, right? You have so many teams that are usually the good teams that they have a guy or two that can really just kind of operate in the mid-range and really just have that effectiveness to it. And so I think he's going to be a huge factor. And we basically have our front court locked up now, and that's good. Now we know what our front court is for the foreseeable future, right? You got LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Hachimura. That's huge, right? Like now you got the size. You got two guys that are 6'8", 6'9", and a legit just dominant force in Anthony Davis, who he showed yesterday why we need him so badly, how good he is just on both sides of the basketball, just affecting shots, blocking shots. Dennis Schroeder was even able to get a block just simply on the presence of Anthony Davis, right? You had Jakob Poeltl who had the ball. He's going to go do the post up. He goes to go spin and sees Anthony Davis coming, so turns back around, exposing the basketball, and Schroeder's able to block it. It's just all of those little things really add up. And I really like this front court going forward. And I really think it's going to be a very good front court. And, Hachimura is a guy that we'll have for the long haul. It's a guy that we're going to re-sign in the offseason, and we're going to be able to kind of just shape him and mold him. And look, he's still 2-3 years away from like reaching and entering the prime of his career. So he still has a long, long road ahead of him, right? And he's only going to improve. He's not even 25 yet. And I really do think that he's just a guy that's going to be a fixture and a face for the Lakers for some time. He's in an environment that he wants to be in. He's in an environment that just culturally and just and his heritage wise and all of those are factors, right? Comfortability, just culture, environment, all of those things can really affect players, especially young players. And he's in a place where you just have that diversity, and you have him. He's going to really be able to kind of operate on both on and off the court and just kind of get himself together. And as we move forward, I really do expect him to kind of become more of a focal point and be that sort of third guy for the Lakers. I think this is a guy that can consistently, night in and night out, give you 15 to 20 points a game. I really do. Like I said, he scored 12 points, and he essentially was lost. And I don't mean that in like a negative sense, like, oh yeah, like, no, he's a bad player, he's lost. I don't mean it like that. I mean in the sense of like, this is a guy that just got with the team. He doesn't know like, where's my spot supposed to be? When LeBron has the ball here, where am I supposed to be on the court? If AD has the ball, where am I supposed to be on the court? LeBron likes to be here. I need to find this spot, right? He's going to hit me here. He likes to look for and learning all this sort of ins and outs. Like, what is the playbook? Okay, when we have this set, okay, I need to be here. Like, all of those things. He's just kind of out there, right? So imagine what he could do when he's actually integrated and acclimated into the roster, into the team. I really think that they need to call his number more. Give him an opportunity. Let him operate on that block. Let him, give him the ball on the perimeter and let him just go to work. Let him go get some easy buckets and just generate a little bit for us. Especially in the half court, like that's a big problem we've had this year is operating in the half court, right? Like we're really good in just pace and fast break points and all of that stuff, right? We're, second in the league when it comes to that. But now we have, if Anthony Davis can stay healthy, Anthony Davis that you could dump the ball down to, he could just go get a bucket, right? But now you have Hachimura that you can do the same thing. You can give him the ball and kind of run some plays and run some sets. You can run some pick and pops. Like there's just so many things that you could do with him that really just is going to impact the game of basketball. And if we can turn him into a serviceable defender, I'm not even talking about like an elite defender, just serviceable. Can he just be, which we saw signs of, he had some real moments, and just his size and length, you just saw the difference, right? Like, and yes, it was the San Antonio Spurs, but still, right? They're a team that we needed to match some size, and we were able to. And you saw how great it was to have that. And you see the Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Hachimura, the three of them together, and Dennis Schroeder and Patrick Beverly and stuff. And it's just like, man, like you could see, like, okay, like we could do a lot here. Right now, we got some like real size. We can run some real sizable lineups, right? Like I wouldn't mind seeing like a starting five of like Dennis Schroeder, or maybe Austin Reeves, or Lonnie Walker, or Troy Brown, one of those three in that two spot. Then have Rui, and then LeBron and AD. I think that's a really good starting five, and I think you have size, you have shooting, you have a little bit of everything. And then you could have the bench guys and the bench roles. If the Lakers make a trade, we'll see how that goes. But I think that this means, I think this eliminates the need to go and get some heavy front court guys. Now, obviously, you can never have too many, 6'8", 6'9", 3-and-D style guys, right? So if they can get, a Boyan or something like that, you do it and you figure it out. But I think that this takes away a lot of the need that the Lakers had, right? Like, I think that this is something that now the Lakers can kind of focus on, like, okay, like, let's go get some shooting now. Let's go get a guy or two that can really shoot the lights out. Maybe a better sort of shooting guard that kind of fits, maybe even kind of fits the timeline. Like, right, like you could go get, let's say like a Gary Trent Jr. I wouldn't even mind if they look at a guy like Fred VanVleet, things like that, right? Like it gives you, okay, we have our starting front court. Okay, so now what else do we need? Okay, well, let's go get some shooting. Let's go get, maybe a more traditional shooting guard, a guy that can light it up, guy that can create his own shot, right? Like something like that. Like, let's work on that. If we can get another big, maybe get another big. But I kind of like the LeBron, Davis, Hachimura, Winning Gabriel, and Thomas Bryant. Like, you have those five guys that basically kind of round out your front court, right? And you can run AD and Thomas Bryant, AD and Winning Gabriel, AD and Rui, right? You can run Thomas Bryant and Rui, and Thomas Bryant and Winning and Rui. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can just basically interchange those guys, and I think that that's solid. So, like, I don't think that they have the need to go and trade for a center or go trade for a power forward, right? Like, I mean, again, it depends on who it is. If you could get a Boyan, I still think you get Boyan. If you get like an Alec Burke, I still think you get an Alec Burke, right? Like, if you could get ideally both of them, like, I still think that that's the home run play, and you're probably one of, if not the best teams in the league. But I just think Rui Hachimura is a guy that's really going to be able to be that consistent night in and night out guy. Like, even if he just consistently gives us his average of 13 a game, which I do think he's going to give us more, because I think he's just going to be playing a very specific role for the Lakers. And I do think with LeBron, AD, Russell Westbrook, unless they end up trading him or something. But even with just LeBron and AD, I think he's going to get looks he's never gotten. I think he's going to be able to do things he's never gotten. I think Darvin Ham's going to put him in a position and allow him to do things that he wasn't able to do in the past. And I just think he's really going to thrive. And if he could kind of develop into that two-way guy, watch out. Watch out. I really do. I still don't think, and granted, maybe that changes. I mean, if he consistently becomes like a 20-point per game guy, who knows? Which isn't that far-fetched. It's only 7 more points than he's averaging right now. And he's playing next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis now. So that's going to change a lot, right? So, like, if he can become like a 20-point per game guy, then maybe that does move the needle more. But I do think, like, this is not only a piece for now, but our future. It also is a guy that is really going to impact the game for us. He really is. I don't think he's a guy. I don't want to rush and say like, oh, like he's the guy that makes us a contender or anything like that. I still think we need a couple pieces, but he really stood out to me, and I really liked what I saw in his debut, especially when you keep things in context and perspective. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What did you think of Rui Hachimura in his debut? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you excited for him and his future? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comment section below.